Throughout the annals of history, the concept of lone heroes has captured our collective imagination. These figures, often straddling the realms of mythology and reality, become emblematic of courage, resilience, and valor. The mystique surrounding such heroes often stems from tales where their exploits parallel those of mythological warriors, blending the lines between fact and fiction. This intriguing intersection beckons us to delve deeper, prompting the question, how much of what we know of these heroes is legend, and how much is grounded in reality? As we journey through this exploration, we'll unravel the captivating tapestry of lone heroes and their legendary narratives. The final days of the 6th century BC in Rome were a time of monumental shifts. The political air was thick with tension as the Romans took the audacious step of expelling their last king, Lucius Tarquinius Superbus. This act signaled the end of an era and the dawning of a new one. But transition, especially one of such magnitude, rarely comes without its trials and tribulations. Rome's actions sparked resentment and hostility among neighboring cities and monarchs. As the tides of political unrest swirled, the neighboring Etruscans saw an opportunity to challenge Rome's might. Under the leadership of Lars Porsena of Clusium, the Etruscans sought to reinstate the dethroned king, laying siege to the newly established Roman Republic. It was during this fraught backdrop that the battle near Janiculum unfolded, a battle that would etch the name Horatio Cocles into the annals of history. Rome's predicament was dire. On the horizon, the Etruscan army approached, a dark cloud of impending doom. Their numbers were overwhelming, and the city's defenses appeared meager in comparison. The Roman soldiers, draped in their armor and gripping their shields, could sense the weight of what was to come. The river Tiber snaked its way through the Roman landscape, providing not only a source of life, but also a natural barrier against invaders. A singular bridge, the Pons Sublicius, made of wood and stone, connected the two banks. This bridge was the sole pathway for the Etruscan forces to gain access to Rome. As the Etruscan forces pressed forward, the Romans were faced with a crucial strategic decision. To prevent the enemy from crossing the bridge and entering the city, the Romans decided to destroy the bridge. However, this was easier said than done. With the Etruscans advancing rapidly, the Romans needed time, and that's where Horatio Cocles came into the picture. Horatio, a soldier of unparalleled valor and fierce loyalty to Rome, understood the gravity of the situation. With his helmet secured and his eyes reflecting determination, he took a deep breath and positioned himself at the narrowest part of the bridge. He was alone, a singular figure standing against the approaching horde. With a shout, he challenged the Etruscans, brandishing his weapon and taunting them to come forth. The enemy, initially taken aback by this brazen display of courage, hesitated. This momentary pause gave the Romans precious minutes, and they began their work on the bridge with a fervor. As the first of the Etruscan warriors reached Horatio, a fierce skirmish ensued. Horatio, however, was not to be easily subdued. With each swing of his sword and each parry of his shield, he sent enemies toppling into the Tiber. His skill was unmatched, and his presence became a beacon of hope for the Roman soldiers behind him. With each passing moment, the legend of Horatio Cocles grew. But the reality of his situation was perilous. He was vastly outnumbered, and fatigue began to wear on him. The sounds of battle echoed all around, the clanging of steel, the shouts of soldiers, the rushing water of the Tiber. As the final wooden supports of the bridge were weakened and ready to give way, Horatio knew that his task was nearing its end. Taking a final stand, he let out a war cry that resonated with the spirit of Rome itself. Then, with a heave of his shield and the might of his strength, he plunged into the Tiber, leaving behind a trail of awed Etruscan soldiers and a bridge on the brink of collapse. His sacrifice was not in vain. Moments later, the Pons Sublicius crumbled, and the way to Rome was cut off, leaving the Etruscan forces stunned and defeated. Back in Rome, the tale of Horatio Cocles, the one-eyed defender who single-handedly stalled an entire army, became the stuff of legends. He epitomized the spirit of the early Roman Republic, indomitable, valiant, and willing to sacrifice for the greater good. The story of Horatio Cockles serves as a potent reminder that in the face of overwhelming odds, it's the heart and spirit of an individual that can make all the difference. It is tales like these that lend credence to the notion of lone heroes, straddling the lines between myth and reality, and inspiring generations to come. The 11th century was a pivotal time in English history. The air was thick with ambition, and the specter of war hung like a heavy cloud over the land. At the heart of the turmoil were three men, each vying for power and the coveted English crown: Harold Godwinson, the Anglo-Saxon claimant; Harold Hardrada, the Norse warrior king; and William of Normandy, the ambitious duke across the Channel. The year 1066 stands prominent in this intricate tapestry of events. England, for the most part, had been a land of relative peace. But the death of the childless King Edward the Confessor set in motion a chain of events that would forever change the trajectory of the nation. Harold Godwinson was hastily crowned the King of England after Edward's death, but his claim was almost immediately contested. While William prepared his forces across the Channel, Harold faced an imminent threat from the north. Harold Hardrada, aided by Harold's estranged brother Tostig, landed with a vast Norse army, keen on staking his claim. The two forces inevitably clashed near the city of York at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. The English, though weary from their forced march north, were a formidable foe. But what no one had anticipated was the role a single warrior would play in shaping the outcome of this crucial battle. As Harold's forces moved closer to the Norse, they were confronted by a natural barrier, the River Derwent, crossed by the narrow wooden Stamford Bridge. Here, standing defiantly, was a lone Norse warrior, his stature tall, muscles bulging, and eyes burning with the fire of a berserker. This was a warrior in a frenzied state, known in Norse lore for their incredible strength and fearless demeanor in battle. Harold recognized the strategic importance of the bridge. Securing it was crucial, but the berserker was no ordinary adversary. With his massive axe swinging, he managed to fend off any English soldier that dared approach him. Each attempt to cross the bridge met with swift retaliation, and soon the ground was littered with the fallen. Witnesses to this stand would later recount tales of the berserker's might. He seemed unstoppable, a force of nature in human form. It was said that he single-handedly held off up to 40 English soldiers, turning the bridge into a choke point and preventing Harold's forces from advancing. Every swing of his axe, every roar from his lungs, seemed to echo with the fury of the old Norse gods. However, even legends have their vulnerabilities. Realizing a direct assault was futile, the English devised a plan. A group of soldiers set afloat in a barrel downstream, managing to position themselves beneath the bridge. And then, in a moment of tactical brilliance, one of them thrust a spear from below, catching the berserker off guard and delivering a fatal blow. With the guardian of the bridge defeated, Harold's forces stormed across, clashing with the Norsemen in a fierce and brutal confrontation. The English emerged victorious, decimating Hardrada's forces and effectively ending the Norse king's ambition to rule England. However, the victory was bittersweet. While the legend of the berserker at the bridge grew, echoing through the annals of history as a testament to individual valor, Harold's own fate was sealed just weeks later at the Battle of Hastings. It was there that William of Normandy, seizing the opportunity provided by a weary and diminished English army, would secure his own legend and alter the course of English history. The tale of the berserker serves as a poignant reminder that, amidst the grand narratives of kings and empires, it's often the stories of individual heroism that capture our imagination. For in that lone warrior at Stamford Bridge, one can see the reflection of every soldier who ever stood alone against overwhelming odds, driven by duty, honor, and an indomitable spirit. In the heart of 12th century Japan, a series of wars raged, painting the landscape with tales of valor, strategy, and heartbreak. The Heike and Genji, two of Japan's most powerful clans, were locked in a bitter struggle for control over the archipelago. Their contest would shape the course of Japanese history, and within this vast saga, individual legends were born. One such legend was that of Benkei, the indomitable monk warrior. The Heike and Genji clash was a culmination of power struggles, political maneuverings, and personal vendettas. And as with most tales of grandeur, it also held stories of personal ambitions and dreams. Enter Minamoto no Yoshitsune, a young and dynamic warrior of the Genji clan. Trained from childhood in the martial arts, his swordsmanship was unparalleled, and his tactical mind was keen. But even he, with all his prowess, would find himself astounded by the might of the monk Benkei. Benkei's early life was marked by his sheer physical presence and strength. Born into the warrior class, he chose the life of a monk, but was anything but passive. Traveling across the lands, he engaged in an audacious quest to relieve 1,000 samurai of their swords, believing that by collecting these symbols of warrior honor, he could forge a weapon to surpass all others. By the time Benkei encountered Yoshitsune, he had amassed 999 swords. Their meeting was not one of chance, but challenge. At the Gojo Bridge in Kyoto, Benkei stood tall and imposing, barring passage to anyone unwilling to part with their weapon. And so, when the young and confident Yoshitsune approached, Benkei saw an opportunity to complete his collection. The ensuing duel was a dance of blades, one where skill, strategy, and agility took center stage. The swift Yoshitsune evaded the powerful blows of Benkei, countering with grace. Their combat became the stuff of legends, with every move and feint, every clash of steel echoing in the annals of Japanese folklore. But in a twist of fate, it was Yoshitsune who emerged victorious, besting the mighty Benkei. However, instead of animosity, a bond formed between the two warriors. Recognizing each other's prowess, they forged a brotherhood. Benkei, in admiration of Yoshitsune's skills and character, pledged loyalty to him. From that moment on, the monk warrior became Yoshitsune's stalwart protector, serving him with unyielding dedication. Their alliance would face numerous trials as the wars raged on. Battles were fought, and tales of their combined might spread like wildfire. However, as destiny would have it, their most poignant moment together would also be their last. Years later, having fallen out of favor and pursued by his own brother, Yoshitsune was cornered in the Koromogawa no-Tate fortress. Surrounded and outnumbered, their situation was dire. It was here, amidst the chaos and despair, that Benkei's legendary final stand occurred. With Yoshitsune inside the fortress, Benkei took position at the entrance, his massive form acting as an impenetrable barrier. With each attacking warrior, he held his ground, his unwavering resolve a testament to his loyalty and honor. But even legends have their limits. After hours of relentless combat, having slain numerous enemies, arrows riddled his body. But Benkei did not fall. Instead, he remained standing, defying even death in his determination to protect Yoshitsune. It was only when the enemy cautiously approached that they realized the truth. Benkei had passed on, standing tall in death, an indomitable sentinel to the very end. Yoshitsune's fate was sealed that day, but the legend of Benkei, the monk warrior whose defiance transcended even the clutches of death, would echo throughout time. His tale is a poignant reminder of loyalty and honor, of the lengths one might go to protect those dear to them. In the sprawling tapestry of the Heike and Genji wars, Benkei's saga shines as a beacon, illuminating the essence of the warrior spirit. The sun-soaked lands of Spain have given birth to countless legends, but few have cast as long a shadow as Diego Garcia de Paredes. His life was a tapestry woven with threads of bravery, honor, and unparalleled strength, earning him the epithet of the Spanish Hercules. Born in Trujillo in 1466, Diego's formative years already hinted at the legend he was to become, with tales of his immense strength beginning in his youth. Diego's journey to fame began earnestly with his service under the Pope. Italy in the late 15th and early 16th centuries was a tumultuous place, with city-states clashing for dominance, and the Papal States were no exception. In this turbulent setting, Diego Garcia de Paredes, with his Herculean build and unmatched valor, became a figure of admiration and reverence. Serving under the papal banner, he soon distinguished himself not just as a formidable soldier, but also as a chivalrous and honorable warrior. His physical prowess was the stuff of legends. Stories told of Diego lifting fully armored men off the ground with a single hand, breaking steel swords with his bare hands, and even felling a horse with a single punch. These were not just tales whispered in the dim light of taverns, but accounts documented by respected contemporaries. Such strength, combined with his fearless nature, ensured that he was both a beacon on the battlefield and a target for those wishing to test their mettle. The legendary standoff at the Garigliano Bridge remains one of the most iconic episodes of his life. As the Spanish forces engaged the French in battle, Diego found himself defending the crucial bridge almost single-handedly. With the roaring river below and enemy soldiers pressing in from all sides, he stood his ground. His sword moved in blurs, each strike taking down foes as if they were mere playthings. His resilience and ferocity held the bridge long enough for Spanish reinforcements to arrive, turning the tide of the battle. It wasn't just a victory for the Spanish army, but a testament to Diego's unparalleled might. Diego's reputation as an unbeatable fighter was not just forged on the battlefield, but also in personal duels. Time and again, he was challenged by warriors, knights, and mercenaries, all eager to earn fame by besting the Spanish Hercules. Yet each time, Diego emerged victorious, his name growing in renown with every duel. Whether it was with a blade, a lance, or his bare hands, Diego showcased a mastery of combat that left both friends and foes in awe. But Diego Garcia de Paredes was not just a legend confined to Europe. His legacy found its way to the New World during the era of conquests. As Spanish explorers and conquistadors ventured across the Atlantic, tales of Diego's feats traveled with them. His life served as an inspiration to many who embarked on those perilous journeys. They saw in him the embodiment of Spanish valor and the indomitable spirit of a true warrior. Moreover, his direct descendants carried the torch of his legacy, with many of them playing pivotal roles in the conquests of the Americas. It was as if Diego's spirit, his unstoppable drive, had passed on to the subsequent generations, propelling them forward in their endeavors in these uncharted territories. As the years turned into decades and then centuries, Diego Garcia de Paredes' legend endured. From the streets of Trujillo to the vast expanses of the Americas, his story was told and retold, each account adding to the mythos of the man. In him, people saw the quintessence of a hero, a man of immense strength, boundless courage, and unwavering honor. In the annals of history, many warriors come and go, their deeds fading with the sands of time. But then there are those like Diego, whose tales are so grand, so awe-inspiring that they defy time itself. His story is not just a chronicle of one man's exploits, but a celebration of human spirit, determination, and the pursuit of honor. Spain's Herculean fighter, indeed, Diego Garcia de Paredes, remains a beacon of what it truly means to be legendary. In the labyrinthine corridors of history and mythology, the figure of the lone warrior emerges time and again, standing tall amidst the chaos of battlefields, resilient against overwhelming odds. Tales of Horatio Cocles, the Berserker, Benkei, and Diego Garcia de Paredes may belong to different eras and geographies, yet they converge at the crossroads of two unmistakable traits: immense physical stature and unparalleled bravery. The sheer physicality of these warriors is often their most immediately recognizable feature. They are frequently described as giants among men, with strength that defies human comprehension. Such descriptions are not limited to the literal size or physical prowess of the individual, but are an embodiment of their larger-than-life presence. This physical dominance on the battlefield or in duels wasn't merely about their ability to overpower foes. It was also a symbol, a living, breathing testament to the idea that they were chosen or destined for greatness. It set them apart, made them memorable, and often gave them an edge even before the first blow was struck, instilling fear and awe in the hearts of their adversaries. Unparalleled bravery is the other side of this legendary coin. It's not enough to be a mountain of a man. History has seen many large warriors fall. What distinguishes these lone warriors is a courage that seems almost otherworldly. Their bravery manifests in various ways, from Diego's stand at the Garigliano Bridge to Benkei's posthumous defiance. They faced impossible odds, often standing alone against an onslaught of enemies. And yet, they never wavered. This bravery made them not just warriors, but heroes, figures of admiration and inspiration. Yet, as intriguing as these individual tales are, The phenomenon of the lone warrior raises broader questions about history and the human psyche. Why does this archetype resonate so deeply across cultures? What is it about the lone warrior that has such an enduring appeal in folklore and our cultural memory? At the heart of these tales is the universal human longing for heroism. Societies have always faced challenges, wars, invasions, and internal conflicts. In these times of turmoil, people seek beacons of hope, symbols of resistance, and embodiments of virtues they hold dear. The lone warrior, with their incredible feats and indomitable spirit, provides just that. They become symbols of resistance against overwhelming odds and embody the virtues of courage, honor, and resilience. Moreover, these stories are also reflective of the societies that birthed them. The tales we've explored harken back to times when personal valor on the battlefield held immense significance. In such eras, a single warrior's actions could turn the tide of a battle or even a war. These were not just stories of individual heroism, but allegories of collective cultural pride. They told the listener that against all odds, their people, their culture, and their values could and would endure. Furthermore, the lone warrior narrative has its roots in the essence of storytelling itself. Throughout history, tales of heroism and bravery have served as both entertainment and moral instruction. They inspire, motivate, and instill a sense of pride. A singular figure standing tall against adversity is a compelling narrative device. It simplifies the complexities of large-scale conflicts into a more personal, relatable struggle. In today's context, while the nature of warfare and heroism has evolved, the appeal of the lone warrior remains undiminished. They can be seen in modern media, from films to literature, symbolizing individual resistance against oppressive systems or insurmountable challenges. While the settings, weapons, and challenges may change, the essence of the lone warrior, a beacon of hope and a symbol of defiance, remains constant. The phenomenon of the lone warrior, represented by figures like Horatio Cockles, the berserker Benkei, and Diego Garcia de Paredes, is a testament to the human spirit's unyielding drive to overcome, to resist, and to inspire. Their tales, etched in the annals of history and mythology, serve as enduring reminders of what humanity can achieve when backed into a corner, fueled by nothing but sheer will and indomitable courage. Their stories are not just tales of a bygone era, but echoes of a timeless narrative that continues to resonate with every heartbeat of human history.